his bird as well as himself, so you've got all 4 heads ready and reporting in at bottom lane.
That lane was just a nightmare to face if you were solo, but he will have the help of Lil, who already has a magic stick. Good job for him to save a little bit of gold.
Okay, so we'll see how things work here. Probably not going to be a fun lane for Illidan, although he has got the tri lane now showing up. FNG could go for an early point in Leech Seed, but doesn't have the boots to get the big right-click damage off, so... With the dual lanes, it does mean that VP.Polar should be able to get more out of this off lane. The Jug Zeus lane have no real zoning potential, and Night Stalker, one of the tankiest heroes in the game as far as level 1 effective HP.
Yeah, his HP is just
I think is he number 1? He's in the top 3. I think Spirit Breaker's number 1 and Night Stalker's like number 2 or number 3.
Well, there's also a reason why they have very high effective HP.
Because they're the heroes otherwise are not particularly good. They're made good as offlaners by having ridiculous EHP, and then everything else they offer is maybe more dubious. So Gorietz wants to deward this, but VP.Polar says, I'll take that money away from you.
No magic stick on him yet. I guess he's probably going to get a boots first so we can escape the Juggernaut. And interestingly enough, Juggernaut has picked up a magic stick very early versus this lane. Why? Why would you pick it up versus this lane?
I wonder if he had it as a starting item or if he...
I mean, even if you... Why would you get it at starting item? Why would you get it...
You know it's going to be a Night Stalker.
I mean, even if you were versus an aggro try, I would still say it's not that great. And Morphling, it's very unlikely that people are going to aggro try with that.
No, I agree. I don't quite see... What Jug is a hero with mana problems, but...
Usually people just get a Kilo.
Yeah. It just slows down your other bread and butter kind of items that help you jungle faster, help you farm faster.
I mean, it's only 200 gold. Let's be real here.
Maybe he misclicked. Maybe he was trying to buy a Quelling Blade.
That would be far more effective.
Yeah. I mean, he does. I mean, your Jugs do go to that Quelling Blade after, like the Ring of Akala, Quelling Blade, Mask of Madness, Jungle / Roshan.
I don't know.
Build.
Maybe HR's out of the loop.
They're still in that 6.81 patch. Who knows?
I mean,
lane. Ogre in some trouble, gets slowed down, waveform forward, there's your lift, and this is looking like first blood for Virtus Pro. Dread just going to Firefly out of there, but too aggressive coming out from your Ogre.
Well, now with that kill, I mean, HR's dual lane was already pretty weak against the Try, and I don't know if they're going to be able to stay down here, at least the Ogre. It's just a lot of slow, so Firefly, they might not be able to escape with that.
He is headed back towards this bottom lane, but yeah, like you said, you get a lift into the Leech Seed. It's very likely that even someone like your Batrider could be going. I guess that's where the Ogre wants to go back down bottom lane, because like, well, if I don't, Batrider's in trouble. Bat's probably more likely to find just better farm in his own jungle at this point.
Yeah, he's really hurting on mana, though.
Well, speaking of hurting, Alpha Ninja on this Queen of Pain struggling against G. 20 CS, 5 denies to 8 CS. Make it 9 for Alpha Ninja and getting constantly harassed down. This has been a very unfriendly mid lane for your Queen of Pain.
It's not a good matchup for Queen of Pain by any means. She doesn't have the greatest range to deal with the Lina. Only 550, and on top of that, she just does not have that high of an HP pool. And if you try and trade with Shadow Strikes, you're going to get owned by LSA plus Dragon Slave. And even just a Dragon Slave, because that spell just keeps getting buffed. I don't think it'll get buffed next patch. I'd be very surprised if Lina got touched.
I think Lina's in a really good place right now. But
I think she might be a little strong. Her ult is insane against a lot of heroes.
It's one of those things like knowing Ice Frog. It's like, okay, this hero is a little on the strong side, but rather than nerf the hero, let's make other heroes better.
That's true. I prefer that approach. Her ultimate with Agzo takes a lot of potential carries out of the pool, though, which is what I guess you can itemize against it, but still. Well, we see VP.Polar on the high ground. Will walk into the Ogre. And Ogre will spot him out.
Yeah, just backs off. VP.Polar saw him coming. Didn't really want to fight here. Lina.
Well, he wanted to run away. You could see that he wanted to run away, so he wouldn't give it the element of surprise, and he just narrowly got seen.
He's going to come in and block some stacks now and just be pesky. Dropped an award and everything, so now they could make that move on mid lane. Although Alpha Ninja with Blink is not an easy kill by any means. They get the silence off with a Void, and Alpha Ninja in trouble. Second kill of the game.
That was easy.
Yeah. I thought that game would be a bit harder with the Blink there, but
it's nighttime, yeah. I'm actually surprised that the Queen of Pain came out, because Ogre spotted out the Night Stalker, and I mean Night Stalker has the fear, and that's just going to destroy the Queen of Pain. and there's very little chance that you're going to miss the Light Striker Ray once you get hit by the Void.
Dread at bottom lane. Gonna force the Firefly, and this TP bottom lane from the Queen of Pain going in on Lil, but won't get a chance to. Okay, Sonic Wave. That'll do it. Not a ulti. I think he wanted to use just for a support Rubik.
Phobos.
He's fine. Look at this EHP in action.
He's too fast.
Once the 6-minute rune coming up, but Phobos is going to be forced out, and Artez has Omni Slash. That's where Phobos has to get out of there and get out of there fast. His salve gets cancelled. What a jerk, this Ogre Magi. But here comes your Omni Slash. Just catches FNG. The Blade Fury Zeus Bolt will finish off your Treant Protector. But now G may look to turn and fight. Has an LSA, but there's 4 heroes on him, and not looking like the best place to be. Throws a Dragon Slave. Laguna's available, but low on HP, getting him down low. One more right click with a tower shot, and down goes Queen of Pain. Nicely played by Lina. Living Armor now comes out to offer some extra protection, and he's going to refill his bottle.
Very well played by G.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Lina just has so much firepower that you have to be damn sure that you're going to kill her under the tower, or else she's going to get a couple of kills on her own.
Okay, so G looking pretty healthy back in this mid lane now. Has that little bottle refill trick with the TPing and Treant, and that was time spent off the lane for Artez also, where he's ganking. Does pick up now his Ring of Aquila and can transition into that jungle, but also wants to be able to push out and farm this lane as much as possible.
Illidan's farm is decent, not as good as the Juggernauts, but still decent nonetheless. The big loser here is Afroninja, 11 CS, and he is getting over tripled by the Lina. That is,
and the 2 deaths as well. That's where it really hurts Afroninja.
I mean, I guess they probably saw the success of the Quaps in the previous games, but it's just not the same. You're versus a completely different lineup. You don't have an easy matchup in mid. Ideally, you want like a easy to kill melee hero like Magnus or something like that. But I mean, with a hero that can just harass you so much, you're not going to be able to snowball very easily. And on top of that, you have to build differently. You can't go for an aggressive build. You have to go for a BKB rush.
Yeah, it's a brutal lane. G having living armor as well allows him to be even more aggressive as far as trading hits and harassing.
He's almost dead again.
Yeah, he comes back to this lane, and is he just blinking back to base? It looks like it. Has Sonic Wave, so he may go look for that Rubik kill again. He's like, okay, I've got Sonic Wave, what do? Let's kill a Rubik.
Not worth it. He just suffers too much in terms of experience. Lina is 8.5, Quap is 6 and 11 twelfths. Well,
back towards mid lane we go. The Dire team do have this one high ground more than mid lane, but offering very little vision now that darkness has been popped. DK Phobos going into this Dire jungle, catches out Dread, and Firefly on cooldown. G has a Laguna Blade, and that's an easy pickoff. That Deep Observer Ward giving some good vision, and just using that darkness to get into the enemy jungle as needed. HR just not really finding much of anything on the map at the moment.
They're just not responding very well to what VP has to offer. They have a Night Stalker just completely taking control of their side of the map, and they just aren't protecting it at all.
Gorietz runs into this Night Stalker. It may be daytime, but with Urn Charges and Void, Zeus gets fairly low. Here comes in your Ogre Magi, Blink, Scream, Sonic Wave available. Ninja gonna unleash it. The Living Armor blocking some of the damage. Ninja still alive for now. No Urn Charges left. He's got no Blink, and DK Phobos will finish him off with a Void. From behind comes your FNG Treant, but he's just gonna hide an Invis as it looks like a Night Stalker. We'll get back to safety.
Are they still chasing him? Why? He has so much HP.
He's like, I'll turn and fight if you guys really want. He's got one Void and some Urn Charges if Gorietz chased too far.
Wasting time during the day. That's what ideally Night Stalker should be doing.
So Morph and Jug, kind of neck and neck right now, both sitting on 3.8, 3.9k net worth. Lina, though, well ahead of the pack as far as mid laners go. Jug
doesn't have that high of CS, though, I would say, considering his lane. 55 CS. I mean, you can compare it to Silence just because it's a safe lane farm, but at the same time, Silent has just had incredible amounts of CS. I would say like 130, like 15 minutes in, and he is not on track for that number.
Just missing out on a few like the small efficiency things, perhaps.
Buying the magic stick.
Yeah.
Buying the stick, getting... was that Omni kill worth it in mid on the tree?
It was time off the lane, I guess, but it was 50-50.
Yeah.
Even like he rushed the phase boots before the Ring of Aquila, which is like not your ideal farming build maybe, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter too much there.
At least he has his Quelling Blade. He is well on his way to his Mask of Madness, but, I mean, Mask of Madness coming out post 10 minutes, I say, is already pretty late. Dread still working on his Blink Dagger. HR trying to catch up, get their items they need to get back in this game, and get their Quap.
Yeah, because Silence Jug was 13 minutes. He soloed Roshan. He had a 13-minute Yasha Mask of Madness with with what we're seeing. Like, same items as Artez, but it was Mask of Madness Yasha. I don't think we're going to get a Yasha at 13 minutes. But Aces Polar, or Virtus Pro.
G.
Use him. Okay, Dread, you're looking pretty dead here, my friend. LSA, Dragon Slave Laguna. That's the... Guess what? You're in trouble, Dread.
Well, Dread can't do anything about it.
Yeah, this puzzle is not going to...
However, they are smoked. Juggernaut and the Ogre a little bit to the left.
I think this was this them smoking towards Roshan, maybe? Or are they just going ganking?
He is not strong enough to do Roshan.
He doesn't have his Madness. Oh, I guess it could come out on the Courier, though. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Courier's in use, so...
They also don't have enough map control for Roche. It's nighttime.
Oh, yeah. And right now... Virtus Pro are all around that Roche bit.
Yeah, nighttime will hit at 12. It's darkness right now, so it's too risky. Like, technically, Night Stalker can just walk and run in there, and then they could just jack it and just completely screw over the Juggernaut. Not worth it.
Okay, so Dread, almost a certain kill here. This Laguna Blade should finish him off with a couple right clicks. Probably gonna need at least 1 or 2 right clicks, but question's going to come, is there counter kills available for Hellraisers? And that's going to depend on what G does, where he moves. There's a Queen of Pain one way, there's a Jug the other. Not going to be easy for him to get out of this one without a TP scroll.
Which he does not have. So I'm not exactly sure how they're going to escape. Do they have eyes on a Night Stalker? If they don't have eyes on a Night Stalker, they might give it up. But if they do, then I would... Oh yeah, Night Stalker's on bottom. I don't know if he's been spotted.
He will have living armor to protect him, which is one of the nice things available, but...
Versus Juggernaut Slash, though,
yeah.
It's... and Ogre Magi can stick up to have both his spells. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether or not they're scared of the Night Stalker and Lina.
All right, FNG's back in. We're going to get things underway in just a second now, and it looks like, hopefully, that's going to be all of the pauses here. Looks like just a casual Dota crash. Team's ready to go, and here we go. Game back underway. There's your Laguna Blade. Dread goes down. G now going to run directly into this Queen of Pain. Well, Omni Slash, living armor, not going to be enough. Blade Fury to follow, and Artez picks up. Actually, he doesn't pick up the kill. Appa Ninja gets that one. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a big dive looking for your Zeus. That Morph and Night Stalker really trying to commit deep and far for that one.
What's his Blink Dagger timing going to be? That is rough.
Yeah, he's still looking okay. He's on 1,700 gold, but it could be a whole lot better if it wasn't for those 2 deaths in a row.
And a Mud Golem spawn, and the Juggernaut taking some of this farm.
Easy stack, says Jug. And unfortunately, no one's here to stack. It's 50 seconds right now, and that big camp not being stacked up.
And on top of that, nighttime hits in 5 more seconds. So if he goes back there, he still has to be scared.
Yep.
So no glorious 8-minute blink tagging for Dread. The dream for the jungle Bat Riders.
Treant now snags the haste room, which Alpha Ninja had his eyes on, and won't be able to grab that one. For Virtus Pro, it seems mostly they'll just be trying to finish off this Lina Yule Scepter now. It is Courier headed towards Six Drop. G accidentally attacked at a smoke, it looks like. He was finishing off the neutral camp, and Lil wanted to go for a smoke, but here we go. They're going to dive the tower. Goddamn. Gets silence up before he can do anything, and G wants to go for this one. There's a lift back. Where's that Laguna Blade? Not going to be needed. Okay, they'll throw it to be on the safe side. LSA waiting for Goriats, and he's going to go down. That's 2 going the HR way. This lasso, without a Firefly, not looking too intimidating, and Virtus Pro.
What was that TP? And then what was that lasso?
I don't even feel like that was an amazing gig by VP. They were so unsure about whether they wanted to commit for that first kill on Ogre or not. But, hey, worked out.
And the smoke pop.
Yeah. Everything about that was not exactly well executed. Top lane now, G, going to look to pressure things here on the tier 1, but gets the tier 1 and now has a Blade Fury TP available, which he will use.
Okay, Bat Rider has blink. 13.5 minutes.
Okay.
Does he have a smoke? Not yet.
Forward one if he needs to, but yeah.
They need a smoke ink, but it's nighttime, so not exactly sure where they're going to go. Probably mid since they have a ward there already, but even that's going to expire in just maybe 15 seconds.
Okay, so
Oh, he's going to go smokeless. Oh, wait. He doesn't have a smoke.
there we go.
The Ogre does.
Ogre does. And he's on the move here with the Jug of all heroes. So this is also where Jug just isn't quite getting that really high GPM. He's spending a lot more time ganking than your ordinary Jugs. Could go into Roche with this, but I'm not sure if that's what he has in mind. I guess you could like do two separate things. Have your Jug go solo Roche with the smoke while your Bat goes looking for a pickup.
He's not strong enough.
I guess without the Yasha, you can't really do it.
I mean, it's just slow,
Yeah.
and it's nighttime. If it were daytime and they had just gotten a kill, sure. But the towers are still up. They don't know where they have vision. Like, they even picked up the rune under the smoke. And if they had a reservoir ward down there,
Yeah.
VP could maybe take more control of the area. And G.
Oh, it's a bait. It's a blink lasso. The telekinesis is there. G gets Omni Slash, though. Bursts down, and now Lil turns around with a counter Omni Slash. Damage not enough, and 2 for nothing. Hell raises. Get a nice little surprise jump on VP with Dread's Blink Dagger on the bat, catching out G by surprise.
Super aggressive play from Lina and just getting caught. I mean, just way out of position. Too close to the T1, up the hill. And Rubik was pretty quick about the counter lift.
That's an illusion, my friend.
So now he is doing Roche. Level 1 healing ward. Is it going to be enough for him? Mask of Madness wearing out right now. It's slow. It's really slow. And it's still nighttime.
Here comes VP. Illidan will bully him back. They'd love to get their hands on that healing ward, but it's going to be keeping Tez fairly healed up for the time being.
At least they delayed the attempt. He can't do it without a healing ward.
So VPC, it's not going on, and with the Yasha, he may make another attempt on this once he has that healing ward back up. But for now, other problems like your Queen of Pain, Sonic Waves on cooldown, Bat still waiting on Lasso as well as needs some more mana, and yeah, pinging out around that pit.
What build is Illidan going for? Lincoln's?
Yeah, standard. Against Bat, it's always good, but a lot of things to pop it.
Most certainly. I would have expected like a man to BKB build from him, I think. Interesting. Or Yasha BKB. I think he's going to have to get a BKB. Actually, maybe not. Since Ogre hasn't had that much of impact. Batrider's really underfarmed, so he's not going to have 4-staff anytime soon. And Queen of Pain has been pretty heavily shut down, so most of his big threats have been nullified.
Okay. Well, we're going to see him getting ganked out for the first time here. Can they actually bring him down? This gank being scouted out. FNG. Uh-oh. TP cancelled. That was a bolt. Saw the TP and brought him down. Nice little catch off there for HR. Unfortunately, it wasn't the Morphling they were hoping for, but I guess it's a job well done for FNG, who at least keeps his Morphling safe and protected.
Still, tower is lost. Juggernaut will deny a tower in the meantime. G and Lil smoked up.
We saw this one last time at mid lane where the Batrider was there waiting, so you're going to be very careful about how you make this smoke happen, because HR, they're not going to be alone down here. They're going to have their entire team ready to pounce, but from behind comes Virtus.Pro. They're going to lead with the replicate on the leader. They're trying to bait with this. I think they quite realize Artez gets lifted up in the air, gets Santi's going to be brought down before he can cast a spell. The lasso comes too late. G actually gets blown up by the Sonic Wave. Queen of Pain with a double kill. 2 for 2 trade so far. Illidan morphing strength. Has his strength adaptive strike, but won't get a chance to use it as Queen of Pain blinks to the side. Overgrowth onto Goddamn's Ogre Magi. Waveform through. Got to get that healing ward, and Illidan getting low here. 500, 600 HP. There's your strength stun. Actually, no. Wasn't a strength stun. Just the 1 point in the adaptive strike. Doesn't have enough points to give it any good stun, and Ninja now will scurry his way back to safety as the TP from Goddamn gonna get cancelled. DK Phobos turns into a 3 for 2 and will heal up Illidan as well in this bottom lane. Decent fight, looking at the numbers. It was about a 600 gold gain for Virtus.Pro, 1300 experience.
G
Not
keeps
bad.
dying in all these fights.
Yeah.
It's tough because he gets lassoed and they don't really have a good counter initiation unless Rubik is lightning fast. But even then, he's probably still going to die, especially if he takes an Omni Slash. However, they still keep picking off the Juggernaut. G looks like he's setting up for an easy kill on the Zeus.
Yep. No Laguna even in. The last fight, I think they did stop the Batrider from pulling G far out, but then like an Ogre came in with a multicast and a Sonic Wave. G can be very squishy.
He needs HP.
He's going for a Shadow Blade. I almost feel like I agree with you. Get HP, just go straight for the Ag Scepter to give you HP.
And just kill the Juggernaut. If you die and the Juggernaut dies, it's okay.
Yeah. Dying for like the Queen of Pain or like a Batrider doesn't seem as worthwhile for him though.
Queen of Pain's also going for BKB, so that's even more reason to get the Ags. However, I mean, maybe he won't get caught out with the lasso if he has a Shadow Blade, so maybe that's where his game plan is, and as long as he survives, he can do more damage. I can see the reasoning behind that.
Well, T1 Tau claim now. Artes on the Jug, going to pick that one up, and we'll be continuing to eye off that Roshan pit should it ever become safe to take. But for now, Virtus.Pro just staying nearby. They're going to pop the darkness and everything, worried about that Roche attempt happening, and they do get good vision here in the jungle here. Dire Wards gets planted, and Zeus kind of trapped. Looks like Goriath may just have to be sacrificed as HR lose one.
There's just very little window for Hellraisers to ever do the Roche. He casts the nighttime, like during the daytime, right before nighttime hits. So he's extending the nighttime to maybe like a little over 5 minutes, which leaves daytime like 3 minutes. And a 3-minute window to do Roche when you don't really have a big advantage is just far too small for not an underfarmed Juggernaut, but just not an overfarmed Juggernaut.
Yeah, it does feel like they'd have to win a pretty sizable team fight to be able to get in there. So the key items for Hellraiser is going to be this Queen of Pain BKB. I imagine Jug may even be going for a Manta style to get out of that crippling fear of the Night Stalker.
And the root.
Yeah.
And the maybe dodge a Laguna or something cool.
It seems, yeah, like this is not just going to be a Yasha Skadi type stats build. You want to get a way to get out of there. Queen of Pain spots out FNG on the Treant at mid, but Treant kind of on the level, just level 6. This is your typical FNG Treant game. He spends the first 20-30 minutes super underfarmed, and then if the game needs it, he'll start farming out for that Aghanim Scepter. Take a lane, take some farm, but...
Is he going to get Arcanes or
he does
point?
not.
So
He's one of the
booster?
Treants who goes straight point booster. I know most Treants go for the Arcane Boots, but I very rarely, if ever, see FNG go that build.
It just depends on what you're doing. I think what he's doing...
Illidan goes in mid lane, forced out a Blade Fury, and could see a re-engagement. DK Phobos gets pulled in by the lasso. They're going to go in with an Overgrowth. Not bad to help them out, but the Zeus ulti damage combined with the Queen of Pain Sonic Wave is too much to handle for VP. They've lost Morph and Treant, and Lil should go down. Does do so in the trees, and that'll set up this T1 mid tower. Virtus.Pro get overrun by the AoE damage of Hellraisers.
And now that they have the Batrider Blink, it's a completely different game. Even if Rubik's in a good position, they're still all clumped up. They get enough vision of them. Boom Zeus ult, boom Quap ult, and so many heroes die under the pressure of those two huge ultimates.
Well, this brings things back, well, in Hellraiser's favors. Let's say back to even. It is a fairly even game. Neither team's had a gold lead more than 2,000 this entire game, and
we really haven't seen the Morphling do that much. I mean, they got the early kill in lane, but aside from that, he hasn't been able to contribute that much just because Juggernaut is just online so much faster. Mask of Madness Yasha, boom, can take Roche, can kill people without his ultimate, whereas Morphling's still like, I need items, dude.
Oh, and even with the Lincoln Sphere, and I mean, like you say, he needs more items because he got taken out of that fight very quickly. He can morph strength all he wants, but the burst damage from this Hellraiser's team is very, very potent. That's the thing. That fight, Jug didn't even do that much damage. He didn't use an Omni Slash for one thing, and mostly it was just the Queen of Pain combined with the Zeus as well as the good Batrider initiation. Ogre's dishing out some good magic damage. Feels like VP really going to need BKBs this game across all their core heroes. Lena's picked up an Ogre Club, and well, this could be for the Aghanim Scepter. I feel like a BKB may be needed either before or after that Aghanim Scepter at latest.
Is Shadowblade even that good versus a Zeus?
I don't think so.
I don't feel like it. I think that's a big gold sink that VP like wish they had another item, like a scepter or close to a scepter.
It seems like an item which is good a lot of games on Lena, but I think G just went for it because, like, oh, this is my build. I really like going for the Shadow Blade, but maybe didn't think twice about how good is it going to be this game. You're against the Zeus. You're getting quick jump by the Jug. You're getting blown up too quickly in a lot of these fights, and
maybe he just thinks that HR is not going to buy any detection.
I hope. You've got a Bat Rider. He'll happily buy a gem, or at least carry a gem should someone else on the team buy it. And well, Aegis now goes the way of your Juggernaut. Things start looking a bit peachier for Hellraisers, who have tied things up 13 kills apiece, but looking to pull further ahead now with the Aegis and the ability to get objectives here. It looked like mid lane there was a lasso engagement onto your Morphling, but did not come close to bringing him down. And it's up top lane. Lina could have the Queen of Pain. There's your Shadow Blade coming into play. One of the nice things you can do against BKB heroes is use this Shadow Blade to engage on them, though, and that's where if you try to set up with a Yules, you're not gonna be able to get that kill.
I mean, you can just get a Scythe Leader if you're really scared about it, but that's what Night Stalker's for, so you can get vision of them before you need to initiate.
Cheeky little Bloodlust still there, but yeah, Queen of Pain on the sidelines again. Queen of Pain's actually done pretty decently. 6-4 and 6 despite that tough lane and slow start that she had.
I mean, she has the BKB, but it's just very late. And again, there are spells to deal with the BKB, especially once Morph gets more right-click damage.
Well, this is a pretty fast Ag Scepter for your Night Stalker.
That's scary.
This makes Bat Rider's life very difficult whenever it's nighttime to get a good initiation off. Get that Ag's flying vision and legal map hack coming into play. There we go. The Night Stalker pops ulti and Bat's like, yeah, I'm not going into this jungle anymore. And well, it looks like Goriet's on Zeus maybe getting chased down here. DK Phobos charging forward, and TP out will be the plan of attack from your Zeus.
I mean, VP scrambling to try and get anything done, but it looks like they're just going to have to resort to the Illidan carry. The 6-slotted Morphling.
And he'll get there. It looks like it will be an E-Blade build. This seems to be still like a popular carry build. A few more things I saw during the China qualifier for the Battleground tournament. We saw this Lincoln's E-Blade build come out a few times.
I mean, it's just so versatile. You can also just like Ethereal Blade one of your teammates that's getting Omni Slashed. At the same time, if you hate one of your teammates, you can Ethereal Blade them and they can get owned by Zeus and multicast.
Hopefully you're not playing with a teammate that you hate at the competitive level. Uh-oh, DK Phobos, he may have an Ag Scepter, but that ain't gonna help you during the daytime. The Sentinel tried to help, but it's another pickoff going HR's way. He's towards mid lane Illidan. He has a replicate available and may just have to use that to get out of dodge. There we go. Goes back to the Radiant jungle, and I think HR are going to be considering taking some objectives and pushing at this point. They've still got the Aegis for another couple of minutes. 2 minutes left on that timer, and Artez is ready to push and chip away at this tier 2 mid tower.
It's going to be a little slow. They don't really have any good tower siegers. No one else can really be up there aside from him.
Yeah. Pops the Manta style somewhat early, so won't have that should a fight break out fairly soon, but he's trying to use that healing ward to slowly and safely pressure this tower. The problem is always going to be Illidan. As soon as he sees this 5-man mid, he's pushing bottom lane, spamming that waveform out, trying to get some comparable pressure happening elsewhere on the map, and he's going to get a tier 2 tower at bottom. That tower was already very low on HP. Meanwhile, mid lane, if you don't finish this tower, it's getting healed up by the tree, and you can't just come back later and finish this one off. You've got to do it all right now, or you've got to deal with a full HP tower later on. Trying to fish out someone with that lasso. There we go. Blink lasso catches out Rubik. Overgrowth is there, but the force up has already occurred, and they kill off 2. Just the supports, but still a good engagement. As HR will get 2 kills and the tower, and can just back off. Defend against Illidan, split push in the bottom lane, and go from there.
You got good damage on that T3.
Oh wow, that's down to half HP.
I actually think it's worth those 2 supports' lives, just because they didn't commit to a full blown out engagement, which means that they didn't really let HR get that much value out of the Aegis. If they had taken a fight there and Morphling a TP'd and not split push, they could easily be whacking on a T3 as I speak right now, but they aren't. And Virtus Pro do a little bit of damage control, don't sacrifice too much, and at the end of the day, HR does have to worry about that split push pressure.
Okay, so HR just gonna, and that's the thing, they still got a lot of room to grow, so if they just TP back, deal with the split push, they're gonna just keep farming towards that late game. And Six-Sword Morphling's scary, but HR have some decent late game of their own. I don't know how you feel about how the two teams will match up late game. Do you feel like either one's going to be a lot stronger than the other?
I just think it depends on how good the Batrider initiations are. It's all on the lasso.
I mean, vision-wise, Nightstalker gives a lot to VP during the night, but you've got Zeus ulti as well for HR, so they can use that to try and give them that quick burst of vision to give that lasso engagement. And Bat will have a BKB. There won't really be anything to... I guess Overgrowth could cancel it, but you still get that... He blinked lassos and full staffs away, so he still gets that pull even if the Overgrowth comes off.
Queen of Pain going for a Scythe of Vice, so they're going to have even more instant disables aside from lasso. And VP just not interested in fighting.
Yep. Oh. Tier 2 tower going to be traded for the Tier 2 top lane, it looks like. Very similar to what happened last time with the mid and the bottom tower. And I think VP going to be pretty happy with how things are panning out here as far as these trades are going, but...
Yep, Aegis expiring.
Yep, already gone.
Yeah, gone. And, well, HR, I suppose, just waiting for the next one. And VP just waiting for Illidan to reach that critical mass where he can just blow people up and instantly make the fight 4-on-5. But who's that going to be?
As good as E-Blade, but the Zeus is a very juicy looking target.
Yeah, Zeus is probably the best. Batrider is actually decent, but he has a fair amount of HP with the Ogre Club in his inventory.
Oh, Overgrowth mid lane. They catch out two. There's your Zeus ulti to help give some counter initiation. In comes Artez. They lose Zeus to start things off. FNG will be the trade, and Omni Slash now available. DK Phobos gets sliced to pieces. The slice goes even further as Artez goes through the creep wave. He brings down a third, and Illidan won't get slowed down as the Linken's blocks the ignite, and G turns and misses the LSA, but will try and burst his way out of there, and it will be a replicate out for Illidan, but he's still slowed down, and HR do not pursue, but they will push down this mid lane, and with a Skadi on your Juggernaut, he's dishing out a lot of good damage here, pops some Manta style, and we'll be ready to keep pressuring this tier 3 tower. No glyph available. Treant respawns, and that's where if Hellraiser's back off here, they won't. Well, they'll have to probably deal with a full HP tower should they come back, and I think they decided it's going to be safer just to not risk giving up any kills.
I mean, they just keep getting free kills over and over again, and HR are pretty much just playing around the Juggernaut so well. And Queen of Pain, she hasn't died in a really long time. Much contrast to her early game.
Yeah. He's played solid. He got completely destroyed in lane, but it's almost like big contrast. G dominated the laning stage, but his mid to late game has been a bit shakier. I say that as he picks up a kill. Caster's Curse is real, but on the side of Alpha Ninja, he's really just playing very... I mean, he's playing on the safe side, but he's been in the big team fights hitting some clutch Sonic waves every time.
I think one of the big deficiencies of VP's lineup is even if they have vision on a hero, they can't initiate on them well enough. Rubik can go in, but he's going to die because he's going to get lassoed. Lina, it's not really good against a hero with instant disengage like Juggernaut Blade Fury. You ideally want someone with a instant cast spell or like a Hex so you can just jump them, or like an RP and an Earthshaker or something like that to completely change the team fight around. But Treant Protector just does not fit that bill because his Overgrowth can be Manta styled, BKB, duels, all sorts of things.
And we're at that point in the game where VP are trying to farm up that Accept on Treant. And he gets shown as Go Damn. Takes a lot of damage, but with 600 HP, he survives it. Zeus ulti comes out, gives vision, in goes Alpha Ninja. Wants Lil, and we'll get him with the help of Artez. Won't find anything to follow, but still, a free pickoff and into Roche if they want to. Possibly a bit risky here, but...
And you can tell that. I mean...
Blink Lasso, that's G. Goriot says he had the damage for this one. Queen of Pain with a Sonic Wave will secure it, and DK Phobos needs to get out. 4-star followed up by a Blink Shadow Strike. There's some nice body blocks. Queen of Pain wants his kill. No Flame Break. Oh, comes close, but not quite. Nightstalker got down to about 100 HP there. 1 or 2 more right clicks would have sealed the deal, but the TP's out, secure Roshan, so almost more important than a kill on your Nightstalker is going to be the Aegis.
Yes.
Hellraiser's looking so much better this game than their opening game where we cast them.
Certainly I think their draft's a little bit better, and I mean, Dread has just been finding lasso after lasso after lasso after lasso, and it was, I believe, a second pick Batrider, and VP just have the Rubik to deal with it. I thought that the Night Stalker would have a much bigger impact in hindering his perfect initiations, but there's no stopping the lasso.
Yeah. DK Phobos did a lot during the lane stage, pressuring the enemy jungle, but it's been kind of a quiet game since then. It was like 3-0 and 5 or something at one point, I want to say, but as is right now, Hellraisers seem to have most of the momentum going their way. They picked up about a 5,000 gold lead, 7,000 experience. Goriot's at mid. Takes an E-Blade. Never fun for your Zeus, but he finds a regen. That'll make him happy once more.
So Lina 11 and 5 compared to the 8 and 4 from Queen of Pain. So yeah, as you said, they were pretty much antithesis in the early 30 minutes, and now they're kind of equalized.
Yeah, and Queen of Pain doesn't have the kills, but has 11 assists to G's 4. So less kill securing, perhaps, coming out from your Queen of Pain. Just some good kind of big AoE teamfight Sonic waves that we've been seeing. HR just going to 5-man down mid. They're going to say, look, you guys got to come back and defend. We've got Aegis in our hands, and you may have healed up this mid-tier 3 tower with the living armor, but we'll just get to work on it from full again if we have to.
Living armor just seemed like it has not done that much either. Just so many multiple instances with Jug with his Manta, like Queen of Pain with her Shadow Strike, Ignite, Batrider. I mean, it's a good pick sometimes, but this particular game is just not good at stopping. It's good at stopping BKB physical damage dealers too, but Juggernaut doesn't need one. Not this game.
Living armor and heal the tier 3 tower a little bit during the glyph as well. In goes your blink, Batrider lasso with the Zeus ulti. It's G once more, getting pulled back in. Gets off the Yule Scepter defensively, but the Flame Break awaits him, and that's a dead Lina. Possibly a dead mid lane of Rax here. G has buyback. He's trying to create space and time for the other lanes to split push. Illidan, Rat Dota at the bottom lane. He gets stunned up. Dread still alive for the time being. Meanwhile, Jug has claimed the mid lane of Rax. G still refusing to buy back. Illidan at bottom. He's taken a melee Rax. One Rax apiece, and Illidan gets a kill on your Ogre. This isn't going too badly for VP, all things considered. Lina's still deciding not to use that buyback money, deciding this trade has gone decently well enough on its own. Waveform through with an adaptive strike. Illidan gets a double.
Outplayed. Very nice waveform from him.
Rubik gonna buy back. They recognize the threat that is this Aegis Jug going for a second lane. Geez, so stubborn about using this buyback. Could have even used it to maybe delay or try and stop the mid lane of Rax going down, but decides against it.
And at the end of the day, it is one set of Rax for one set of Rax. So I thought VP was going to come up underhanded, but with Illidan's plays there at the opponent's base, looks like they actually got, I would say, the better end of the trade, considering how far behind they were.
Now they've got a BKB on Illidan, so he can do that even more effectively using this. And they buy time, because they're fighting into an Aegis. So if they can just stall for the Aegis to expire, then they find themselves in a much better position as a whole. They're getting close to that FNG tree and Ags. This is such a game changer when it comes up. Suddenly, the map is just covered in vision going VP's way. There is a Batrider who, with Gem Firefly, is one of the better heroes at taking out those eyes, but if you have to spend a lot of your late game time just going through your jungle and the map trying to de-ward, it's very pesky.
Let's see if Morphling can get a kill here. He's poised to, but these two heroes have, I think, far too much HP to survive.
Even Zeus, 1500. Do they see him? He's invised up, and it doesn't look like they've got detection for this. Oh, they break Illidan's Lincolns, but an immediate BKB gets out before the lasso. Replicate to be on the safe side. That's a 10-second BKB being used, but that's, you know, I feel like 6 months ago, you're casting Virtus Pro Illidan, and that's him just dying in a 5 heroes. He's a changed man.
Yeah, right. He wouldn't be in that position. He'd be in the opponent's fountain, dude.
He would not have stopped at the racks and I mean, he probably would have gone back and fought, to be honest. That's more your Illidan style.
Yeah, that brings back nightmares. Watching Illidan sometimes, it is just crazy. How forward he is.
Oh man, the people who would bet rares on that team back then would be pulling out hairs watching some of the leads get kind of lost to Illidan. But here we go. Tree and Ags now online.
That's true gambling. Betting on Illidan.
Yeah. No longer, you know, they're more consistent. We talked about, like, in the the team intros, how Empire is one of the very stable, consistent teams as far as the CIS scene goes. VP, or formerly Aces Polar, very consistent with their results. They haven't been entirely stable with their roster, with DK Phobos leaving, returning, and G joining, but as a whole, this team has been very stable. They're going to lead with the overgrowth here, but no follow-up. Just some casual damage coming out, and that reveals the Ag Scepter for Tria. Not that it's a big reveal by any means, but...
They've been way too obvious about the morphing replicates, too. Like, Lina just straight walks up to them as an illusion. Like, that would not happen. That's not plausible.
I remember that bottom tier 1 tower fight where they tried to do the same thing, just send in a Lina illusion, and it's just like, okay, we are not fooled by this, even if it's taken just normal 100% damage.
I think like a much better use of it, especially since they have the nighttime advantage, is just like cast Dragon Slave and then just immediately swap places with the illusion, and then you have a pretty high chance that the lasso might go off, but they just have not been trying to utilize that. And if they can save the Lina and make the lasso go on somebody else, I think they can actually take a fight. But I mean, he just can't put out enough sustained damage. It's just all straight up burst and front loaded with the Ags.
Oh, there's your Zeus ulti, the Hex to follow on just Lil. Not the best target, but it will be a kill on your Rubik nonetheless. Meanwhile, DK Phobos locked in place, and Artez will chop down your Night Stalker. The split push is the answer to this, as Virtus.Pro pressuring bottom, pressuring mid. They know a push could be coming their way at top lane, and it's where that Treant overgrowth is going to come into play as far as looking to delay things.
Can he delay it enough?
Well, there's a tier 2 at mid. Illidan already breaking through that one.
Scythe device completed on the Quap.
Yeah, they've got Glyph as well as the Living Armor coming out, and it looks like Morphling actually came back to defend. He's not going to go for the split push at mid lane, deciding against it. But at the same time, Jug with Aegis expired is not going to go for the all-in push.
Says Q to bounce.
Next Roshan is probably the next objective for HR. They've taken the outer towers. They're not really in a great position to push high ground. They could keep looking for pickoffs, as it seems they're inclined to do so at top lane. They really need a gem, though. You can't let a Treant just get complete map control on you, as we're likely going to see. Blink in, immediate replicate out. Couldn't even get the Shadow Strike off to break the Lincolns.
Cool Shadow Blade coming out from Batrider. This will actually help a lot versus the Morphling initiation. Like, no longer do you have to blink Force Staff and then Lasso. You can just sit right on top of them and then Force Staff and Lasso without having to blink.
Zeus ulti, it's going to be initiation. They catch out your Rubik, and Hellraisers. They're finding pickoff after pickoff. They make it look almost too easy. Virtus.Pro just trying to split the map maybe even too much to find the split push going, and well, they're just going to go straight to the top lane. They know there's no glyph, and this tier 3 tower getting brought down pretty quickly. The Abyssal Blade giving Artez even more damage. There's your overgrowth. He's already used his Manta, and could be in some trouble if he's not careful. Blinking forward, goes your Batrider. No pullback. Illidan kept alive for a bit longer, but not very long at all. He gets annihilated. DK Phobos now, maybe next in line. He will bring the Queen of Pain with him, thanks to some burst damage coming out from Morphling, who's bought back. Will grind in with a BKB, but where's your E-Blade? Go down, gets pushed back. Adaptive Strike not even going to come out. Tier 3 tower still standing thanks to Living Armor, but as far as HR are concerned, that's a 1-for-1 and a Morphling buyback being used. Not a bad trade for them.
Illidan needs to keep up the split push pressure. I don't think he can fight them at this point. He is just far too... His team is far too weak. Tree doesn't really offer anything for them.
If FNG can get to that point where there's a refresher, maybe that's where we're looking at some more high-impact teamfight plays from him. For now, the Roshan can be the next thing these two teams eye off. 1 minute from now, roughly, when Hellraisers can make their move towards that pit. I say Hellraisers because VP not looking like they have much of a stance to make around that Roche pit.
Hellraiser has just much better pickoff potential. VP, they're completely reliant on Lina with their Shadow Blade, but now that Batrider has a gem, just unlikely it's going to happen, unless they have Darkness, but even then you're still searching for kills. You're not guaranteed anything.
Well, talk about the split push, and it looks like that's what G, as well as, to a lesser extent, Illidan are doing, and I feel like Illidan's the big one who needs to be split pushing. He's got the more reliable escape with the replicate, but I'm not seeing it for the time being, and
Almost a maximum duration. Roshan respawn time, 30 minutes, 30 seconds left rather.
yeah.
So Quap, Cheese, and Juggernaut Aegis, and
Yeah.
then, I mean, look at his items right now. He has an Abyssal Blade on top. So Morphling generally pretty elusive. With the BKB, not so much anymore.
And Morph's just staying on very heavy agi because he wants to get that max damage on his E-Blade, but if he gets caught out by some of this AoE nuke damage like the Zeus, the Queen of Pain, he will get brought low very fast. He's going to have to pop this BKB very early on in a team fight. And here we go. Easy Aegis Cheese. As you mentioned, Artez likely to take the Aegis and Affinage the Cheese. Affinage has his Shiver's Guard coming out as well in the courier, so another big item coming the way of Hellraisers, who won't be able to push immediately. They'll probably have to deal with some of the split push going on in some of these other lanes, but
FNG also hasn't had enough time to set up his trees to counter the split push. Especially now that Batrider has a gem.
okay. And he's getting better and better. He's started with just the trees in the jungle to kind of accelerate your farm. Every time you use it, you can kill off these jungle camps. But he's not really, he needs to delay things even further. They've lost that mid lane of Rax, and here comes Hellraisers towards the bottom lane. I've seen many a times this FNG Ags Treant Protector delay a game out, turn a game around, even when you're down a lane or possibly 2 lanes of Rax, so.
Is Batrider going to be able to fend off the split push and TP to help bottom?
It's not easy. I feel like he may even be calling for someone to TP back and go for these kills, because he can get a lasso onto G. Maybe spotted coming out, and he's actually going to TP bottom. Says, my job's done. That split push has been dealt with well enough to TP down bottom and look for that pickup. He's going to Firefly over the trees. Zeus ulti for vision. There we go. Catches out G once again. This Lina getting isolated every single time. Immediate buyback comes in. Nice 4-hero overgrowth as your Morph goes forward. Once the Ogre won't be able to finish him off though. Oh, not looking good at the side of this fight. Artez going to just Blade Fury on through, do as much damage as he can before he dies to the age. He even brings on the Morph. It's a dieback. 100 seconds on the sidelines. Artez will just back off and maybe even look to hold on to the Aegis for now. Dragon Slave will finish him off, so that's your Aegis down. DK Phobos, BKB's in, but he's got no damage up, but Laguna Blade is available. But without Morphling, without Rubik. Possibly looking like the beginning of the end for Virtus Pro. The push will continue, and Artez leading the charge. You need to be a little bit wary of this Lina Laguna Blade, but that's the only threat it feels like VP have at this point, and Juggernaut with close
only
to
a third of his
3,000
HP.
Yeah. Not going to be enough. It looks like this bottom lane of Rax is going down, and they can even look to swing top after this if they want to. Batrider looking for another lasso now with it coming off cooldown. VP may be done for. They may be the first team eliminated here. And coming in looking at this team list, you think, okay, Hellraisers, one of the maybe definitely the least consistent team of the 4. Even more so than Na'Vi. Na'Vi just a complete X factor with their new roster, but here we go. One more overgrowth comes out, the BKB out from Dread. He's got the lasso ready, he wants G, he'll grab him. Blade Fury from Artez, and now we'll just finish him off the old-fashioned way with him good old right-click damage, and 3 dead. GG is cold. FNG taps out, and Hellraisers survive for one more round. They're going to have a rematch against Team Empire in the next round of the lower bracket.
Dread was fairly impressive on his Batrider, always grabbing those crucial lassos, and he knew that even if he got Rubik lifted, they would still get the kill, and they just kept killing the Lina over and over and over and over again. And I don't exactly know what G was supposed to do about it. I think he needed his whole entire team to help him gain control of the map in the mid game, except they just kind of threw away the early lead by passively farming, and that's one of the problems when you have a Morphling. He can't contribute that much early.
Definitely feels like this is one of the games where you can maybe see the weakness of Lina as a hero, where you need to be able to build up to be able to protect the Lina. Like Treant was okay during the lane stage with living armor, but you get to those mid-late game team fights, he had no answer for the Batrider. And there's a reason that a lot of the teams and scenes are just insta-banning Batrider. It's not a hero that, I mean, it doesn't seem to be as prevalent in the Western scene, but if you look over to what like the Chinese teams are doing during their group stage, Batrider did not get picked a single time because it was banned out every single game.
Yeah, he has such a unique toolkit, and I mean, Lina just has to be highly mobile in fights, and she just could not maneuver anywhere.
Well, guys, that does it. Unfortunately for Virtus Pro, they are the first team to be knocked out of the CIS group for Red Bull Battlegrounds. We're going to move on through the lower bracket. Our next match is going to be Team Empire against Hellraisers, who just came out on top. That match set to start in the next couple of minutes. You're watching the Red Bull Battlegrounds Dota 2. Be sure to follow all the action over at redbullbattlegrounds.com. You can pick up the Dota 2 bundle or just a standalone ticket if you want to support the tournament, grow the prize pool, and also if you want to come out, if you're based in San Francisco or nearby, you can come out, meet the teams, interact with the players, and pick up a ticket to the LAN finals. So guys, we're done. We're going to be going to a break. When we come back, it's Empire versus Hellraisers. Don't go anywhere.